first thing we want to do is create a background color. And I want you just to work in black, because as soon as you start introducing colors, you complicate the issue. When you're working with typography, it's always good to keep things in black and white, typically black on white, but I want to show you how to make a background, and we can just double click on layer 1 and name this, something clever like background, so we know that that's what is on this layer. Now by default, right here, we've got foreground, the fill, and the stroke. And by default, the fill is white and the stroke is black. Now we don't want a stroke, so I'm going to click on the stroke, and then there's this little do not enter sign right here. See that thing where it says none? I'm going to click on that, so there's a line through it. Now the stroke is in the foreground, so that means that's active. So whatever changes I make are going to be done to this stroke. I want the fill to be black. Now there's always a bunch of ways. I don't know if your color panel opened up automatically. I don't think it does. But, and you also have some swatches right here. But I want to show you, if you double click on this, and by default, I think this is up here for you guys. And so the way to pick black is you just click and start dragging and come all the way down, not just here, because that's not black. It looks black, but it's not. You can come all the way over here and you get solid black. Only this is not rich black. This is just black. And we'll talk about the difference later on. What? Rich black? What's he talking about? And now we need to draw from one corner to the other. But we want to make sure that our smart guides are on. So under View, come down and make sure there's a check mark right here next to Smart Guides. Okay? Command U. So if there's no check mark, click it. If there is a check mark, leave it alone. Then we're going to get the rectangle tool. And if you've played around with Illustrator, you may have a different tool sitting here. So you click and hold on the mouse button and select the rectangle tool. Got it? And we're going to come up to this corner right here and see, if I zoom in, see how it says intersect? That means I'm right on the corner. And that's a feature of Smart Guides. And because we can see everything when we get down here, see how intersect, it's kind of covered up by our panels there, but we let go and we now have this black that covers exactly the artboard. If you've got a little white line somewhere, do this again and do it right. Okay? Now I'm going to hit the letter V. Remember I told you the shortcut for the move tool is the letter V? Because I want to get, not the move tool, excuse me, the selection tool, the black arrow. I get confused. Photoshop and Illustrator. Now, I don't want to ever work on this layer again until I want to change this color. So over here, this eyeball is visibility, like I showed you in the last video, but I didn't explain that little lock. And as soon as you click on that lock right there, that means I can't do anything on this layer. See how my black arrow turned into this weird symbol that, well, I can't zoom in on it, but it's a pencil with a do not enter sign, which means you can't do anything here. You can't draw on this layer because it's locked. If I unlock it, then I can click this and move it accidentally. I'm going to hit Command Z, undo. Command Z is your best friend. Okay? Remember that. It's edit, undo, but it's Command Z, so learn that. And then lock your layer. Okay? That's it for this video. We're going to come back and add our type. But meanwhile, before you get to that next video, you got to have a quote. So go find a quote, copy it, and let's get started.